I'm going to share a little lesson I've learned from this Lincoln SA200. Got to do some corral work here at the ranch, and this welder came up, and my mentor had one. Brought it home. It had set for a long time. Did the Marvel Mystery Oil, and cleaned out the tank, those kinds of things, and she fired up. I was extremely excited. Almost no power, had to do a lot of cleaning in the generator area. Then when we got some leads and put a load on it, it would bog down, and I couldn't figure out why. Thought I'd checked everything, apparently not. So started seeking for some advice, looking at manuals, and seemed that people were saying maybe didn't get enough fire. So new plugs, new wires, checked the cap, cleaned it. The magneto seemed to be, half-inch blue spark. It was great. So called an expert in Arizona, and he said, it's got to be your fuel. You're starving it. So new filter, new screen on the sediment bowl, no change. So I'm thinking, okay, we got fire, we got fuel, we need air. So I'm thinking maybe the oil bath is choking it down. I cleaned all that out. I thought that was fine. So I pulled it off, and when I put my hand up against the carburetor, it was not only sucking, but it was blowing. So I knew I probably had a problem with some valves. So I pulled off the valve covers. It's flathead, and I noticed I had 3 stuck valves. So I was running on one cylinder. And that's why only one spark plug was hot, that's obvious. And so then we began to spray it, fill it with PB Blaster, lots of it, and basically filled the cylinder heads up, sprayed the valves themselves, and almost right away, within a couple of days, the intake valves, they freed up. And after a week, the exhaust valve freed up. And I had to cycle it, clean them, and they're doing good now. So I anticipate we're going to put it together, and I'm going to have the horsepower I need to kind of get along. But it made me think about in life sometimes that our intakes and our exhausts are all messed up. There are some things that we need to have proper intake in our lives. And I think that today with social media and video games and all the entertainment, that maybe the things that we're intaking in our lives is not super healthy for us, and it's not building the kind of people that can take the load that we really need. That intake ought to really be, I believe, the Word of God, and I would encourage you to really look into it. If you haven't looked into it for a while, I definitely would have you to look into it. It's kind of like a PB blaster to your life. And it really kind of cleans things up. It gets things where they need to be, and when you put a load on your life, you can withstand it. The other is the exhaust. I feel like we're in a society today that can't let things go. We got children's films that encourage us to. The Bible encourages to, but we just can't do it. And so I'm not talking about letting people in your lives that are destructive. That's like sugar in the tank. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is that every little tiny infraction we hold on to, and it turns into bitterness. And we need to free up that exhaust valve so that we can move on, and get the job done that God intended us for. So thank you so much for the time, and I would encourage you to just like you take an assessment of your mechanical things, is take an assessment of your life. And anyway, hopefully it won't be long, and we'll be doing some corral welding. I just can't wait. I got my pancake hood. I'm going to get my leads going, and pipe stands and all that, and we're going to get after it. So anyway, thank you so much for your time. God bless. Bye-bye.